ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्बोद्धूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगीव यस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Verse 267 व्यवहारो लौकिको वा शास्त्रीयो वान्यथापि वा ममाकर्तुरलेपस्य यथारब्धं प्रवर्तताम्. So Vidyaranya talks about the seventh stage of through this spiritual journey, the final stage, the destination, and that is trupti, which is born out of entertaining mindset based on the Vedantic teaching received from the teacher. So teacher can give teaching part and the student changes a mindset, and according to the teaching he molds his mindset and that brings trupti. And we have seen that kind of a what is a change in mindset. Well, looking at myself as a mumukshu was previously, I mean before exposure to the teaching. Naturally he is a mumukshu and he wants jnanam, etc., becomes jignasu also, everything. Now mindset is what after receiving teaching? Well, I am not a mumukshu. Teaching has made him free from this mumukshutva. I am nitya mukta atma. Moksha me bhuyad iti tivra ichha. Let me gain mukti. That has gone. He understood that I am already free. So that is a first change in a mindset. Second is what? All secular sacred activities as my moksha sadhana. Earlier I was looking upon. Naturally karma yoga, etc. Karma yoga involves both shastriya karma as well as laukika karma. That's what we are in fact discussing here. Laukiko va shastriya yoga. So both the types of activities he was doing for the sake of moksha with a certain attitude. Karma yoga, etc. That was earlier. Now or still now I do the shastriya karma or a laukika karma, but basically that is for lokakshema, lokasangraha, etc., either to set an example for the people or at least for the sake of people. That's a second change in mindset. It's entirely different. And third is, well, I never look forward to moksha as a future event which has to come. I look at it as my swarupa. Moksha is, moksha I don't look upon as a sadhyam. I don't look upon mumukshu. That is the first thing, first change in mindset now. Earlier I was looking upon myself as a mumukshu. And here, now, and the third change of mindset is moksha is no more a sadhyam. When I am a mukshu, then moksha will be sadhyam naturally. But we make it a difference here in terms of giving as counting as a point. So he does not look upon himself as sadhaka, mumukshu. That's a change in mindset. And therefore, moksha is no more a sadhyam. Instead, it is looked upon as a one's own nature, one's own sarupa. And this mindset has to be brought about. Well, then he becomes a jnana yogi, we say, with this new mindset. This is all trupti. Naturally, once you know that you are free or you are full, the fullness is my nature, you will have a trupti in your mind. Anyway, so this jnana yoga abhyasa, which we have discussed, the change of a mindset, is of this threefold mindset. And and I look upon this entire, now the jnani, I look upon this entire universe as of course anatma, but then basically looks upon it as a Virat Ishvara. Virat Ishvara also is anatma, by the way. That is the basis of Virat Ishvara is Brahman, that is myself. So anyway, so this, because he is a Jivan Mukta, he is constantly, experiencing the world. And when you experience the world, definitely that apparent duality in terms of an experiencer experience will remain. How will you how will you go? How will it remove? It will not remove. That duality will remain. For whom? For the person who has nishtha in a non-duality. Yeah. Yeah. Now, Swamiji, that's not correct. Take your statement back. No, I will not. I will not take. Because both are opposite. If you perceive duality, you don't have a nishtha in Advaita, non-duality. And if you have a nishtha in Advaita, non-duality, then you will not perceive duality. No, it will remain. Why? Both are of different order of reality. The things which are of different order of reality, even though they are opposite, they will remain. I have discussed this several times. Where you did this? In Pancadasi, you find out. Several examples. The colorless sky will appear colorful. When you perceive a day in a dream, outside it is dark night. Goes together. Daylight and night go together. Day and night go together. Go together. Why? Different orders of reality. That's it. And so duality will remain. If such a apparent duality is not remain, how will he walk? How will he talk? How will he eat? But how will he do? Nothing. Where he has to walk, he doesn't see. What he has to eat, he doesn't see at all. Pashyan, Shunvan, Sprushan, Jigran, Gashnan. Now what Gashnan? Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shwasan, Pralapan, Sujan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Naiva Kinchit Karo. All these are happening. Pashyan, while seeing, he's a seer and he's seeing an object of, there is a sight, there is an object of seeing. The very experience of seeing on the part of Jivan Mukta proves there is a duality. There is a duality because he is seeing me and tells me that please sit in the class wherever you want to sit. He tells. And then he goes to the dining hall. He sees dining hall. He doesn't go anywhere else. He sees his chappal. He wears also chappal. His own chappal. Everything he sees. And he talks also while going. Yeah, how is your family and all that. So he's seeing a particular person, calls with a name. Everything is seeing. So the true non-duality can all the time remain with a perceptible duality. All the time. And that is how the thing is. The colorless ocean, well, will be perceived as a blue ocean. Colorless and colorful. How it goes together. This is how it is. In fact, one more step is since you are perceiving this duality of a lower order of reality, proves that there is a non-duality as the very basis of that duality. Non-duality is the basis for a perceived duality. Perceived duality has its own base, then it is not of a different order of reality. It is definitely of a same order of reality than Advaita. Anyway, so he is seeing everything, and therefore he becomes bhakta also. Yeah, because Swami bhakta, how can he become Ishvara is different than otherwise? Yeah, but so perceived duality. He is a bhakta. He knows very well that I am bhakta, that is of lower order of reality. Ishvara is a bhajaniya. He is a different order of reality. And that is how all jnanis are even worshippers also. All jnanis. They don't have a problem. When people, when they argue, that how can he worship? He himself is a Ishvara, how can he worship? But it's a different order of reality. Yeah, worshipper worshipped is entirely, the duality is of a different order. At an ahankara level, which is mithya, everything he knows very well. The way he eats, the way he walks, the way he does every other thing, it's in the realm of duality. Same way he worships also. What is the problem? There is no problem at all. People somehow have some problem. They feel it is of same order of reality. If you are Ishvara, how can you worship Ishvara? That's not the case. Otherwise, this Jivan Mukti itself is not possible. The Jivan Mukta all the time remains in the realm of duality, but does not give reality to duality. That's it. All is Vyavahara. All. Doing a Lokakshema, Lokasangraha, all duality. The difference between Ajnani and Jnani is this much only. Dvaitam is mithya. That's a jnanam. Dvaitam is satyam. Advaitam is mithya or not existent. Is a ghor ajnanam. This much. And jnanam is ultimately, not dvaitam is mithya, frankly speaking. Dvaitam is a mere appearance of Advaita. That's the thing. Same Brahman, appears in this form, Ishvara. So Jnani, basically, his life, after this change of a mindset, what we talked, his life is a life of a Nishkama Bhakti. Because the whole thing is Ishvara for him. He is a worshipper of this Virat Rupa. That is how Shankaracharya ji wrote all beautiful verses. One of them I just quoted in Shivananda Lahiri. You should read Shivananda Lahiri. What a thing. You should see his heart of devotion. My God. Shivananda Lahiri. There are many others he has done. So from them it just comes out. It just comes out. So he doesn't need any, because of Trupti, he doesn't want any favor from Ishvara. But he may have a Lok Sangraha. He may pray also. He does Laukika Vyavahara, he does Shastri Vyavahara also. He may pray also. Laukika Vyavara, he does something, you establishing Gurukulam and all that, again for Lok Sangraha. That is a Lok Sangraha. Or Shastriya, even praying, arranging yajnas and everything. Rituals also. He can arrange rituals, but not for himself. Oh, I am a sadhaka. I have a lot of obstacles. I want moksha. Trupti. Mindset has gone. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. All continuous. His life, Jnani's life is a Jivan Mukta. After gaining Jnanam, we say life of a Nishkama Bhakti. That's it. No kamana at all. That which we call as a Loka Sangraha. So, Vyavaraha Laukikaha Shastriyava Pravartatam. Let religious and Laukika Vyavara goes at an Atma level. Based on what? Yatharabdha. Based on Vasana. Prarabdha Vasana. Prarabdha has given the body some karmas of from Sanchita and Vasanas. That is what it is. From unmanifest. This has manifested. Sanchita, which is unmanifest. And Vasanas also, which is unmanifest. Part of unmanifest. Maya or Karana Sharira, whatever you want to say. Partly it has manifested. Karmas and Vasanas. Prarabdha Vasana is there. A certain lot of Vasanas are there, which will manifest as a human being. Gains a body of a lion, then the Vasanas are different, naturally. Anyway, so Yatha Arabdha, in keeping with the Prarabdha Vasana, his Vyavara continues. Continues a religious Vyavara or a Laukika Vyavara. So that's how in Bhagavad Gita, Sadrisham Cheshtate Swasyaha Prakrute Jnanavanapi. Jnanavanapi Prakrute Sadrisham Cheshtate. Prakriti. Based on the body, the Prarabdha and Prarabdha Vasana, both. Karmas and Vasanas are not karma only are responsible for birth. Karmas and Vasanas. That's what Brihadaranyaka Upanishad said. What is that? I forgot. Purva Prajnacha. That's a very beautiful statement. Prajna, Purva Prajna means Vasanas. Here. The Vasanas which are there, certain Vasanas along with the karma manifest. That is how the body one gains. Anyway, so Mama Akartuhu, basically I look upon myself as a Akarta. Karma Sambandha Rahita. Sakshi. Alepasya. See? Mama Akartu Alepasya. So, Alepasya means I don't have any lepa, any sambandha with a either karma or karma phala. Karma sambandha is there for karta. Karma phala sambandha is there for a bhokta. Karma sambandha is for karta. Karma phala sambandha is for bhokta. So for this person who knows I am akarta, a bhokta, he has no sambandha. Alepasya. He has no sambandha with a karma or karma phala. And well then, according to ahankara, prarabdha, etc., well, let the activities go on. And that karma cannot produce agami punya papam, because that kind of a will is not there. Free will is there, but it is free will that is there, that is a part of ahankara, and that is turned mithya. Please understand. No, Swamiji, he is choosing. He is choosing that activity and he is choosing that activity. In Shastri Vyavara also he is choosing certain activity and he is not choosing certain activity. So he has a free will. If he has a free will, then whatever he is doing is a karma, and therefore he will have a karma phala. No, sir. He looks upon himself as Akarta, Bhokta, Atma. And therefore free will which has a basis in ahankara has gone. It is mithya actually. And therefore this thing which is mithya will not produce anything. And therefore his vyavara etc. is just a cheshta. Definitely. So this is how the jnani, which is Jivan Mukta, this has been described in 267. Means that jnani won't do any karma for moksha, but that's true. But it doesn't mean that he won't do karma. He may do karma, but that doesn't produce anything because of this vision, because of this trupti, because of the change in mindset, etc. Let's go to verse number 268. अथवा कृतकृत्योऽपि लोकानुग्रहकाम्यया शास्त्रीयेणैव मार्गेण वर्तेऽहं काममक्षतिः. So, up to this previous verse 267, Vidyaranya said, Jivan Mukta may choose to live life governed by prarabdha vasana, without entertaining free will or desire. Entertaining free will means free will is there, but which is just an appearance. So, that is the thing. So, he governs just by prarabdha vasana only, without entertaining free will or a desire. And now Vidyaranya gives an alternative for this. Well, he says he may have a non-binding desire to loka sangraha also. So, by doing or not doing, no difference will be made in his life. He may do loka sangraha or he may not do. It doesn't make any difference in his life. He doesn't do any loka sangraha, means helping out others, etc., for any chitta shuddhi, etc. He doesn't seek jnanam or moksha because he knows he is moksha. He is moksha. He is mukta. He is moksha. He doesn't look good, but then he is mukta. That's all. Centered on Aya, he don't have any limitation at all. That's called moksha. No limitation of time. I have not to solve any problem of this birth and death and all that. I have not to solve any problem pertaining to the mind. I have no problem. I have not to solve problems. I have no problem of birth and death. I have no problem of this, negative emotions. He says that. He has negative emotions. He is angry, suppose. He says, I have no problem. Because he is understanding that the reality of I, which is, the fact regarding the I is clear. Then he may do certain rectification in the mind, like we do certain rectification, seeing certain object, how objectively you rectify it, purify it, etc. So he may continue. That's a luxury. Once you know that you are free from any kind of a jvara, well, at any level, see, mukti is such a thing, right? You and me can claim right now. That's a situation actually. But we are not able to claim. That's okay. But point is, this is how he understood this reality about the Atma. That's it. So he says, I have no problem. And therefore there is no need of solution. That is mukti. I have no problem at all. We feel what? I have a problem. I have a bondage. And therefore I will gain mukti in the future. That is a part of ignorance. Yeah. I have no problem. And therefore I don't need any solution. That's called clarity. This is clarity. Anyway, so he doesn't need chitta shuddhi, he doesn't need jnanam, moksha, etc. Well, and but just for the sake of the world, to set an example in the world, which we call loka sangraha, he may continue to do. So athava kritakrityopi. So athava means or else kritakrityaha api. Even though, well, he may be absolutely fulfilled. We are talking about this trupti. Lokanugraha kamyaya, by this desire of what? Lokanugraha, for setting an example for the people, or for setting or for blessing of the world. Well, he may have a desire, which we have to write, non-binding desire. Binding desire only possible for the person who takes himself, herself as an individual. That's it. Once you have a sense of individuality, sense of limitation, sense of a lack, then desire arises in order to be a fulfilled person. That is a binding desire. He has a non-binding desire. Lokanugraha kamyaya. And it could be in any field. So, even a Shastriya Achara also, he would, certain Acharas, well, he would rigorously follow. So, Shastriyena eva margena aham varte. well, let me follow this rigorous discipline given in the scriptures. He may have that desire also. He may be a Paramhamsa sannyasi, and in initial stages, and he may take to danda also. He follow. Once you have a danda, then you have to follow lot of things. Lot. You should see some acharyas doing a puja of the danda. They take the danda and do abhisheka at in the lower and the last portion, and they may do abhisheka on the earlier the front portion and do so many things. So he takes a danda to show certain discipline. He may do a lot of parayanam. For a danda you have to do tarpanam, and then you have to do Hamsa Gayatri. Yeah, Paramam Sannyasi means you have to do Hamsa Gayatri. Hamsa Gayatri, yeah. Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahe Paramhamsaya Dhimahi Tanno Hansa Prachodayat. I should not have said, but I am saying. So this is called Hamsa Gayatri. He has to do. Then he has to do Pranava Avrutti, Omkar Japa. He has to do Mahavakya also, Avrutti, Bhashya Parayana. All rules and regulations he does follow. Shastriya Achara. Shastriyena eva margena aham varte. Well, let me do all this rules and regulations. Earlier he has done. He may continue. Now he doesn't need. Shastra has given him freedom. Well, he may continue. Or he may continue for some time with danda. And after one day he decides, danda visarjana. Chalo. Giving up danda. Generally, Hamsa sannyasis have a danda. Paramhamsa will not have even danda also. That's how we don't have a danda. That's how we are fortunate. Otherwise, we have to move with that Shankaracharya ji's, like that. We have to move with that danda. Once danda is there, you can't go for a bhiksha to anybody's place. Or you have to go to a specific place, and then whole day goes in puja. Anyway, so person may hold on to achara, or he may not hold on to achara after gaining this knowledge. He may follow achara, etc., when he is in a society, naturally. That's how our Shankaracharyas are all following everything. He is in a society. So as a convention. Not out of compulsion. Just as a convention. That's called Loka Sangraha. But he may give up that danda, or means he may do pujas, etc., or he may not do. That doesn't make any difference. Kama makshatihi. He says, Shastriyena margena eva aham varte. Let me follow Shastriya achara. Kama makshatihi. What do I lose? Even with the following. Or what do I lose even with not following any achara? Nothing. But he may continue. That's what it says. So this is what I mean actually. Worshipping Ishvara is not necessary, not compulsory. But worshipping Ishvara continuation does not take away your Advaita Jnana. Never it takes away. This we should remember. If they are really opposite, one takes away the other. Naturally. Have a Dvaita Nishtha, Dvaita Darshanam, and accordingly living the life, then Advaita Nishtha cannot be there. Advaita Darshanam is Nishtha is there, then Dvaita Darshanam, Dvaita Vyavahara itself is not possible. Means eating, writing, taking class, walking, nothing is possible. Everything we have Dvaita Vyavahara only. And therefore, we should understand that they both belong if they remain together. And Shastra also reveals it very clearly. Then one of them is of a lower order of reality, which cannot oppose the other. Anyway, so this is regarding this verse. Okay. Now to 69. Devarchana snana shaucha Bhikshadau vartatam putvapuhu taram japatu vak tadvat patatvam nayamastakam. Very beautiful verse. So, Once Jnani Jivan Mukta decides to lead a religious life, well, then Shastra definitely comes, Shastra activity related to Shastra, well, comes into, which we call sacred activity, comes into the picture. He decides, I would like to lead a religious life because I am in midst of so many people. I have to set an example for them because that's a means for them to gain purity, karma, religious karma. Then let me follow so that they will also do. This is Lok Sangra. Then, well, whole Shastra activity comes into the picture. In that, there is a physical activity, naturally, vachik, the verbal activity, or a mental activity, dhyanam, etc. All of them are not required by Jnani, but he decides. Generally, Jnani amidst who is amidst in people, I mean, take these activities. Generally, Jnanis who are not interested in this activity, etc., because of due to his own prarabdha vasana, well, he wants to remain aloof, etc. Then they generally live outside the society. They won't live in the people, with the people. They generally live in an aloof place, secluded place rather. So this is people give an example of a tapovaram, etc. On Ramana Maharshi, but you can also see Ramana Maharshi also. He for a number of years he remained away from the people, 12 years or 13 years something. So basically that generally they remain away because remaining within the people and not doing anything, well, other people will carry a wrong message that, well, karma is not required at all, just sit. But they definitely require karma because of they need a purification, etc., ragadvesha, etc. Therefore, generally, well, jnanis who have this kind of a vasanas to lead a very quiet life, not doing any kind of an activity, they remain away from the society. Anyway, so here in the first line, kaika karmas are talked about, which jnani will take up. So Devarchana, first thing is what? Devarchana, Dev Pujanam, Kaika karma, doing ritual, doing puja, Snanam, varieties of Snanam. Here we are talking about religious activity, please understand. So Snanam means taking bath in the morning. No. We are talking here religious activity, right? He may take up religious activity. And of three types: physical activity, verbal activity, and mental activity. So physical activity, well, religious activities, puja, etc. Then snanam also, religious snanam. Varieties of religious snanams are there. Regular snanam is for body cleaning. This religious snanam is is a religious activity. Like a grahan snanam. After grahanam, after that eclipse, one should take bath. And he takes, suppose, he need not, but he takes bath. So on varieties of occasions, religious occasions, we have snana. Anyway, and for sannyasi, there are rules also for shaving, etc. Suppose he may follow that also. All. And now we are talking about this religious activity at the physical level, means then in a chaturmasa, etc. also, chaturmasa, well, just generally that 2.5 months of period of we call chaturmasa, but it is generally 2.5 to 3 months maximum. That is, they stay at one place, and they have to do they do a specific puja during that chaturmasa, etc. So he may follow even that also. So many shastriya vidhis, etc. are there for sannyasis for this kind of a to do. I mean, if he has a jnanam, he may not do, but suppose he voluntarily takes up. He may follow, he may not follow, but he is doing, suppose. Then Shaucham. You can see Devarchana, Snanam, religious bath, and then Shaucham. Here are Shaucham also various types of religious purities are also there. Then Bhiksha, Bhikshado Vartetam Vapuhu. So Bhiksha. For Bhiksha also there are two options, and he may adopt one of the means. So Shastra gives two options. One is called Madhukari, other is a Ajagar Vritti. Madhukari means what? Well, he moves from home to home to take bhiksha. Maximum 7, minimum 5. 5 to 7 houses. Like a madhukara, like a honeybee, in order to take a honey, goes to various types of flowers, right? Various flowers. Not total honey from one flower. No, it moves. Same way, this jnani may adopt this kind of a method to take bhiksha, in which he goes home to home, maximum 7. So he takes that sankalpa to do this kind of a madhukari. And suppose, but Swamiji he has not gained bhiksha from 7 homes also. If he asks and they did not give, and 7 homes are over now, should he go to 8th home? No. Then he should return that day upavasa. Thank God, we sannyasis are eating and eating all the days. But this is madhukari. And some jnanis, sannyasis especially, even don't do this madhukari also. They have ajagar vritti. They say prarabdha is a Ishvara sankalpa. Giving the body, various situations as a karma phala and all this. This is a Ishvara sankalpa. Karma is my sankalpa, but then karma phala is not my sankalpa. It's a Ishvara's will, we have said. So prarabdha is ultimately Ishvara's will. Then if the prarabdha, if Ishvara wants, that is his sankalpa, prarabdha is his sankalpa. Well, if Ishvara wants that my prarabdha should continue, well then he should give bhiksha. And therefore I will remain at my place. I will not go anywhere. I will remain at one place. Let Ishvara arrange if he wants the prarabdha to continue, body to continue. Then let him arrange. If he doesn't want, then okay, fine. Ultimately it's Vishwarupa. It is easier saying than doing, okay? And therefore, but I'm just saying, for the sake of saying, not for doing. So, basically, ajagar vritti. But then body will fall. Yeah, okay. Ultimately, it's one Ishvara with all the limbs. My body is one of the limb. Okay. That limb has gone. In a Vishwarupa with all thousands and thousands of limbs, billions of limbs, well, one small limb goes away, so what? Like a small part of nail, small part, just goes away from the whole body. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference. If one hair, several hair falls, right, every day. So one hair falls from this body, small part of the body falls. So what? Let it fall. So let my body fall. If an Ishvara doesn't want prarabdha to continue, then he is not giving bhiksha. Let it fall. This is an understanding of ajagar vritti. Very, very, very difficult. Anyway, so basically, achar anushtanam, etc., all different varieties of the achar anushtanam, kaika karma, devarchanam, snanam, shaucham, bhiksha, all kaika karma, all religious activity. Well, vartatam vapuhu vartatam. Well, if let the body remain in these activities, in these physical activities. Then vachika karma, he talks in the next line. What it says? Taram japatu vak. Vak taram japatu. Taram means which saves. Taraka mantra, Taraka or tara means which saves. Tarayati iti taraka. So, taram japatu. Vak. Let the body do the bhiksha, etc., snanam, etc. Same way, let this limb, let this speech do japa. Which mantra? Taram, Omkara. So, it's not compulsory for him to do, but he does, suppose. Tadvat, Tadvat we have to take first. So, like the physical body continues in varieties of the physical activities, religious activities, same way, Tadvat, in the same way, Vak Taram Japatu, well, let the organ of speech remain in Omkara. Again by Prarabdha Vasana. Or else what? Vak Amnaya Mastakam Pathatu. Amnaya. Amnaya means Veda. Mastakam. Mastakam means Shiraha. Right? So the the Mastakam, the head of Veda, Vedanta. Vedanta's another name is Veda Shiraha. Veda Anta we say. Anta means the exalted one, also we can say. So in this body, the head is the most exalted. And therefore here in a very typical way it says, Amnaya Mastakam, means Vedanta, means Upanishad. So Vak Amnaya Mastakam Patatu. Let Vak, instead of doing a japa of Omkara, let Vak reads Vedanta, Upanishad. Means let Vak reads Mahavakya. I said before, Mahavakya Avrutti or Bhashyam Avrutti. These are the things a sannyasi is supposed to do. Sannyasi also has some nitya karma. So these are the karmas. So Pranava Avrutti is a very, he has to do Omkar Japa in order to keep his mind clean, detached from the society. Because he is in the society, he is attached. Whatever you do, a detachment turns to attachment. It can happen. Omkara keeps you like that. That is very esoteric thing. Somehow Omkara brings the person, makes a person with a lot of vairagya, dispassion. Anyway, so, but he is a jnani. He doesn't need, but he just continues because of prarabdha vasana. So let Vak Amnaya Mastakam Pathatu. Let Vak reads Vedanta. This is all Vachik Karma. What about Manas Karma? Next verb. Vishnum dhyayatu dhiryadva brahmanande viliyatam sakshaham kinchidapyatra nakurvena pikaraye. Let the mind be involved in Manasa Karma. Doesn't matter. Dhihi Vishnum dhyayatu. There are two forms of Vishnu, right? Here we can take any one. Vishnum dhyayatu. Let the mind meditate on Vishnu. Which Vishnu? Two forms. Which two? One is Sagunam, Apara Prakriti, 7th chapter, our Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, Apara Prakriti. So, well, in which entire universe he is going to reveal. After 7th chapter, at that time he has decided. 7th chapter onwards, they Ishvara Vichara. They say like that. So, first 6 chapters, Jiva Vichara, and it appears correct because 2nd chapter, when the teaching began, Bhagavan has not talked about any Ishvara, etc. He said, like, right? Atma is like this, Atma is like this, Atma is like this, Atma is like this. 12, verse number 12 to 25. All Tvampada Vichara. And later also. But then, 7th chapter onwards, he started talking about these are two my Prakritis, Para Prakriti, and all that. And then Vibhuti also Ishvara. 11th chapter, Vishwarupa also Ishvara. So, some people say, well, it's the first 6th chapter, Tvampada Vichara, and next 7 to 12 will be the Ishvara, Tvatpada Vichara, etc. Maybe we can take it that way. And then, well, Asi, Kshetragnam Chapi Mam Viddhi, Sarva Kshetreshu, 13th chapter. Sarva Kshetreshu. In all the Kshetra, the Kshetrajna is me alone. Oh no, the inner self is Jiva. That is distinct from the body, and that is there and that leaves when the body goes. No, Bhagavan says that Kshetrajna, that Jiva you are saying, the inner self, that is myself. I can. That's how people, some of the acharyas say, Tattvamasi is there in Bhagavad Gita in this way. Tvampada Vichara, first 6. Tatpada Vichara, second 6. And the last Asi, Aikyam. Anyway, so Vishnum Dhyayatu, entire universe is this Vishnu, Vishwarupa. I admire in that form Saguna Ishvara. Apara Prakriti. Or Para Prakriti. Oh, that Vishnu is myself. I am that Sakshi Chaitanya. Well, Nirguna Ishvara. Without any attributes, etc. So let mind meditate upon anything. Either Saguna Vishnu or Nirguna Vishnu. There is a difference between Vishwarupa Vishnu and Vishwarupa Devi. Right? There will be difference. Difference because you say Devi. First you say Deva. Vishwarupa Deva. And then say Vishwarupa Devi. So some difference is there. Form wise. That's okay. But in Nirguna Vishnu, ultimately, no difference. Because the attributes, etc., only bring difference. If no attributes, Nirguna, then no difference. That's it. That is how this is really good. One is Brahman. And other than whatever is there is not name and form and etc. Attributes. That's it. That's a very good thing. Attributes of womb, but attributes of Brahman. Hey? If attributes of Brahman, then Brahman will be with attributes. No. How? Pancadasi. I think first chapter or second chapter. Gunas are not really there. Attributes are not there in Brahman. Mithya attributes. So, even though this whole thing is appearing, Saguna Ishvara, well, but it is really, from the standpoint of Brahman, Nirgunam, all the attributes are Mithya. And therefore, basically, either a Nirguna Ishvara, that is Vishnu, or Nirguna, Saguna Ishvara, well, Dihi, let my mind Vishnum Dhyayatu, Saguna Ishvara or Nirguna Ishvara, Dhyayatu. Nirguna Vishnu and Nirguna Shiva is same. Okay? Right? Saguna Vishnu and Saguna Shiva are different form. Okay, Yadva, or instead of a Vishwarupa Vishnu Dhyanam, let mind enjoys myself as a Brahman. Brahmanande Viliyatam, let mind is resolved in Brahman. This is Swarupananda. This is called Swarupananda. Brahmanande means Swarupanande. He has a clarity that I am Brahman. That is Brahmananda. When you say I am Brahman, means I am full. I am complete. I am limitless. I am free from any lack. That's called Brahmananda. Other than that, whatever Ananda is there, that is only a reflection of this same. We call Vishayananda or any Ananda. Even a Samadhi Ananda, Yogananda. We'll be discussing this in the 11th chapter, but various types of Ananda is there in that Ananda Panchakam, Vishayananda, Jnananda. Ananda born of a knowledge, clarity in knowledge, and Ananda born of a Vishayas and these and that, and Ananda born in Samadhi. All Anandas are Pratibimba. I am Ananda. That is Bimbananda. That is Bimbananda. Because ultimately all those Anandas also give you a sense of fullness. Momentary fullness. Why momentary? Because it is in form of vritti. It's in form of vritti. Vritti is kshanika. So it will go. Even Samadhi Ananda where vrittis are not there. But how long? How long? Let's say Samadhi Ananda is ultimately Brahmananda. Correct. Okay. Still, if you are there in the Samadhi, till then it is there. Once you come out, all the vrittis, Ahamidam, everything starts. Dvaitam also starts. Everything starts. Gone. Advaita Ananda has gone. So that is why it is also Kshanikam. And therefore, ultimately, I am full and complete. I don't lack anything. I don't have any attributes. I have no connection to Janma, Mrityu, anything. I have no connection to any kind of a jvara of three bodies. That sense of fulfillment, we are talking about Trupti. That will not go because it's Swarupa. So anyway, so basically, Dihi Vishnum Dhyayatu. Either Vishnu is in the form of a myself or in the form of a Saguna, etc. So you can understand. He allows. Oh, Swamiji, but he's doing meditation on Vishnu Saguna Ishvara, then definitely he is not included. He is a meditator, and the meditation, the object of meditation is this Saguna Ishvara Vishwarupa. Then there is a duality. I told you. Jnani can do meditation, no problem. Jnani can do puja, everything he does. Can do, they do also. No problem at all. You can see very well here. Vidyaranya describes all religious activity. Devarchanam, Snanam, religious Snanam, Shaucham, religious Shaucham are also there, etc. All this physical activity. Or Japa, Omkar Japa, Bhashya Parayan, Vakya Parayan, Hamsa Gayatri Japa, all. Or else meditation. All that is also Dhyanam. Could be even Ishvara other than himself. He continues. There is no problem at all. There cannot be a problem. Once you understand the reality is different. At the Ahankara level there is a Dvaita. And that will continue. Ahankara will continue. Ahankara is based on Prarabdha. So that will continue as a Jivan Mukta while he will have a just to exhaust Prarabdha. So at a level of Ahankara, that will be there. That's how he does all kinds of activities. Teaching and eating and going and walking and talking and everything he does. And doing even worship also. Okay. So, here it says, Vishnum dhyayatu dhir yadva brahmanande viliyata. Let my mind resolve into Brahmananda also. Sakshiham kinchidapi atra na kurve napi karai. Well, in all these three types of karmas, this Jnani is aware of this fact. He has this mindset. What? Aham sakshi bhavami. I bless this body, mind, everything. I bless. Well, I exist. I am self-existent. And this body, etc. are just my appearances. And therefore, they perform. Body, mind, senses, etc. They perform varieties of activities. Or they don't perform. Na kinchidapi aham kurve. I don't do even a bit of action. Kinchit means bit. I don't do even a bit of action. Atra in this context means when Anatma is engaged, this body, mind, sense complex is engaged in the action, well, he says this. Naiva kinchit karomiti. Bhagavan also said. Acha, he doesn't do, but because of him the body does. The conscious body functions, the conscious mind functions, the conscious senses function. Therefore, he is responsible for not directly doing. Direct doing is by the mind and by the senses and by the physical body. But because of him only all this they are doing? Yes. If consciousness is not there, how senses are going to function? How consciousness is not there, how mind is going to judge and decide and any other thing? Do sankalpa. Nothing is possible. So ultimately consciousness is responsible. So let him not do direct. Let the consciousness doesn't do directly. That's fine. Okay. But in its presence everything does. Therefore, it makes as though do the body etc. to do the things. Nakarai. Well, he does not engage them also in body. In action. He does not engage body in action. He does not engage mind in action. He doesn't do. He doesn't do. Sun doesn't do anything. Sun shines. Sun shines. That's it. That verb also, it's a aupacharikam. We have to use, if you want to say some sentence, you should have a verb. That's how we are saying. Sun shines. But actually, the shining also is not any action. And in presence of the sun, which is self-shining, all activity takes place. Sun doesn't even has a karaitritvam also. Sun engages them in activity. No. Because karta is considered responsible, karaita is equally responsible in the world. That we see also. Some person kills, but ultimately people, the police they ask them, who prompts you to do this? And then they will find out someone else, suppose. He will also have the same punishment or a different order. They will be punished. So, karaita is also punishable. This punya papa comes to him. What I mean is, So, na kurve, na kare. Bas, I shine. But how long? This is what I am. I am consciousness which is existing all the time. Shine all the time. This is my nature. That's it. In my presence, they do. Not I make them, I engage them in activity. So this is how generally politicians, they engage others in different types of activity. But still, they will be held responsible. Okay, verse number 270. एवं च कलह कुत्र संभवेत् कर्मिणो मम विभिन्न विषयत्वेन पूर्वा पर्वसमुद्रवत्. So here Vidyaranya says, well, Jnana Yogi performs karma with that mindset, and a Karma Yogi or a Karmi performs a karma. So outwardly both are same. Both are supposed doing the same activity. One is also doing a puja. Let us talk about religious activity. One is doing a puja, the Karma Yogi is also doing a puja, and Jnani also is doing a puja. Or Karma Yogi is doing Dhyanam, meditation, then if suppose a Jnani also is doing a Dhyanam. So outwardly, well, outwardly we find that activity is same in both. But difference is at a internal level, mental level. And what is at the difference? The difference is this. Let us talk about two people. One is Karma Yogi. Karmi, let us forget because but Jnani, Jnana Yogi or Jnani. The difference at the mental level is this. One is doing because he thinks he is a mumukshu. That's how he is doing dhanam, etc. or doing a puja, etc. for gaining grace, etc. So he has that mindset. And Jnani, well, he says, I am free. I am not a mumukshu. So entirely different. One says, I am mumukshu. Other says, I am not a mumukshu. I am not a sadhaka at all, seeker of moksha. No. That's the difference. Second is, one does this dhyanam or puja or anything, looking upon it as a means for gaining moksha. Whereas this Jnani does for loka sangraha. He does it for the sake of people, for blessing the people, or to set an example for the people, whatever purpose, but not for himself. So that's the difference. And naturally, the third difference is when this Karma Yogi is doing Dhyanam or Puja or anything, well, he looks upon moksha as a goal. Whereas this Jnani, even if he is doing Dhyanam and same thing, Puja, etc., he says, I am Muktaha. Basically, moksha is a Swarupam. Moksha is not a Sadhya. I am basically ever free. Moksha is Nitya Siddha. That is a difference. So mindset makes a difference, and that is what has been told here. So if I look at myself as a victim of karma, well, done by someone, then it is a karmi. If I look at myself as not as a victim of karma, done by someone, well, then I am jnani. That's the difference. So victim means basically my body does and you take the responsibility. I am doing, etc. No, that is not there. Body does something and you take that you are doing, etc. Or mind does something and you say I am doing, then it is definitely a karmi. So in this manner, evam means in this manner, kutraha kalaha sambhavet, there is a question of a debate, confusion between jnana yogi and karmi or karma yogi. Internally there is a big difference, and therefore karminaha means between karmi and mama, me means jnani, who appears as a karmi outwardly. Well, all three types of karma, I mean vachika, kayikam and manasa karma, I remain asamsari all the time, whereas the person who is doing the same activity, kayika, vachika, manasa karma, well, definitely he is an asamsara. So definitely one is take oneself as asamsari, other takes himself as a samsari, and definitely so vibhinna vishayatvena, attitude being totally different behind the activity. Well, when therefore, and that is not just different, they are opposite. For that, Acharya gives an example: Purva para samudravat. Purva samudra. Purva samudra, I take it as the Atlantic Ocean. Apara samudra, well, Western Ocean. Like let's say Pacific Ocean. So Purva para samudravat. There is a difference between an Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean. That kind of a difference is there between these two. Which two? Karma yogi or karmi and jnani. Outwardly actions are same. Well, but definitely there is a difference in terms of attitude, difference in mindset. That's what he said. And Vidyaranya clarifies that mindset further in the next verse we will see on Wednesday. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.